Hi, I'm Lindsay with Lindsay Walden Photography. I'm a Dallas-based newborn and maternity photographer. I started my business around 16, 17 years ago. Really, when newborn photography was first being invented, I knew that that was something that I would love and be passionate about. It took several years for me to find my groove as a newborn photographer and figure out where I wanted to be in the market. I made the jump into the luxury market pretty early on, and that really made a huge difference in my business. I've always loved babies and moms and photographing them. I think it's so important for them to, for moms especially, to be photographed with their babies. So that's something I'm really passionate about. So today in our class, I'll be focusing on those family shots that are captured during a newborn session, including sibling images, dad images, the whole family together, and then a big major focus is put on mom and baby images because those are some of my favorites and also some of my biggest sellers with clients. For this class, we're focusing on the luxury experience for newborn sessions and specifically on the family, parent, and sibling images. So as a luxury photographer, my focus is really on the experience for my clients. I want them to have a really beautiful, wonderful, easy experience. There's several things I do to make sure that their experience is amazing. First of all, most of my clients will come in and the moms will have their hair and makeup done professionally right here in our hair and makeup area in the studio. This allows a number of things. One, typically, if this is their first baby, dad is welcome to come, but he doesn't have to in the beginning of the session. If it's not their first baby and they have siblings, then it's actually a lot easier to have mom and baby arrive in the morning. Mom comes in to get hair and makeup done, and then I'm in the next room focused on getting all of those baby shots while mom's getting her hair and makeup done. Hair and makeup with the makeup artist that I typically use can take around 2 hours. She's super meticulous, which is great because so am I. So while mom is in hair and makeup getting pampered and just enjoying that experience, I get all of the baby only shots finished. And then if dad and older sibling are coming, they usually will arrive 2 hours into the session, and we finish those sessions with the beautiful family images. I love this workflow. It means that I don't have a nervous parent over my shoulder during the newborn session. I have my assistant helping me throughout the session, so I really don't need parents to do anything for me. During the session, they will bring bottles. We have everything they could possibly need as far as bottle warmers, wipes, diapers. I don't need to bother them for anything. If baby is breastfed and breastfed only, obviously I'll bring them to mom once it's time to be fed. So I make sure we have a comfortable chair where it's easy for her to feed them. And typically my clients are usually okay with continuing with hair and makeup while they're breastfeeding. And honestly, the vast majority of my clients are also okay with baby taking a bottle. So a lot of them pump, will bring their breast milk, and I'll go ahead and feed baby if we need to during the session. So the family images usually will start once I've finished all of the other images that I'm planning on capturing of just baby. If there is an older sibling, depending on their age, especially if it's a toddler, I like to start with those images. I know as a mom that those are really important images, and so I want to make sure we get those. So if the toddler maybe needs a little bit more time to warm up to me, then we will start with the family images. That way they're sitting with a parent, sitting on their lap. They feel a little bit more comfortable. But if they warm up to me quickly, we'll go ahead and just knock out the sibling only images first. For sibling images, you'll see demoed today in our demonstration. We will do one image that we captured beautifully with baby and with his older brother, who's only 18 months old. Because of his age, that is the one shot that I needed to get. I would love to get more, but I'm not going to push it. I'm not going to stress out the parents by expecting their 18-month-old toddler to perform for me. So we will maybe try a couple others, and if he's not willing, for baby's safety and for parents' sanity, we'll just make sure we get the one. And the one shot that I did capture of him was done as a composite, where I photographed baby separately. Okay. So for all of my sessions, I offer a complimentary design consultation before the session. Usually if they're coming to me for both maternity and newborn, we're doing that while mom is still expecting. Sometimes if they're booking just a newborn session with me, baby might be arrived already, so we'll do that via Zoom instead of in person. I try to be flexible with that, but I always do a design consultation before their session. This is great for a number of reasons. One, it's an opportunity for them to meet me either in person or via Zoom before the session. That helps build trust. It helps them to get to know me a little bit. I get to know them a little bit. Learn about their family, and it's going to make them a lot more comfortable when they come in for their session, especially when they're handing me their brand new precious little baby. During that design consultation, we'll talk about everything they need to know about the session as far as how to prepare, what to expect, what to bring, all of those kinds of things. My goal is to make sure they have all the information they need so they're not anxious or nervous about anything. We just want the sessions to be a lot of fun for them. We will also talk through the design for their sessions. For newborn sessions, I love learning more about my clients, the things that they love. We'll talk through colors, all of those kinds of things. Then I can design a very unique session for them that really tells their story. So sometimes it's just the colors they love and their kind of sense of style. I have an aesthetic that is just who I am and the way that I create that I stay pretty true to. But that usually marries great with my clients and what their style is, just because they're coming to me, so they already love my work. So I know that I can stay true to that style while incorporating unique things that tell their story well. So because of that, we will have gowns selected, props, backgrounds, pretty much all planned in advance. I am the one who selects things like the backgrounds and specific props usually, but I have moms try on the gowns so that they can pick those out, and they will be picking out colors and things like that before their session. That makes the day of the session much easier and make sure we always set up at least 24 hours in advance of a newborn session. That way the morning of, we're not stressed out, everything's ready, and it's just a much easier, more enjoyable experience for everyone. A few more things that I make sure that I do for the sibling images. First, I mentioned that we do that pre-design consultation. I'll ask about any siblings that are going to be photographed. If it's a young child, or even if they're a little bit older, I love to learn more from the parents about their child's personality. Are they a little bit shy? What really gets those genuine smiles from them? If they need to have a little bit of time to warm up, what usually helps with that? That way parents feel like we're a team on this. It's not just on them to get their child to try to perform. And I'm not coming at a child maybe being too enthusiastic if they're super shy. It helps me to kind of be a little bit more prepared on how we're going to handle working with a sibling. We also, during the session, have all kinds of things to help incentivize. We have baskets of all kinds of darling toys. I usually try to buy toys that photograph well. So I have a lot of beautiful wooden trains, cars, things like that kids enjoy playing with. That if they have some separation anxiety and don't want to let go of that toy, at least it's something that's going to look good in the pictures versus something that's random that's not going to look good. We also have wardrobe for children up to the age of 5 for both boys and girls. And then for girls, really, we have wardrobe for all ages. For boys, usually we're keeping the wardrobe pretty simple, and we'll talk about that, the design consultation. If either they're going to be using something from my studio or if they're going to bring something from home, we want to make sure whatever they're bringing and wearing is going to be something that's going to photograph well. And we'll also talk through what dad will wear. Everything else is pretty much provided. We provide all the gowns for mom, but I will go through at that design consultation and tell moms like what type of bra to wear, what type of underwear is going to work best with the gowns that they've selected. For siblings and really for parents too, we have all kinds of treats here in the studio. I have a lollipop tree for our toddlers and for young kids. We have a treasure chest. We keep for moms all kinds of snacks out, and for dads too. I have lactation cookies and crackers, waters, all kinds of refreshments for them so that they feel comfortable. Again, my goal is to make this experience amazing for them. I have everything that they could potentially forget. I try to keep here in the studio just in case. All right, for sibling images, there's several different sibling images that I try to capture. My goal with any session is to capture as many beautiful, distinct images as possible. this helps my sales, and it helps because of the way that my pricing is structured. It helps to make sure that clients are getting enough images that I'm always going to reach my at least my minimum goal for my sales, because I have enough images that are going to be really hard for them to narrow down. So the easiest one I usually will do is a composite. I have several different vintage prams that I like to use, where I put baby in the pram, photograph them, take baby out, and then I'll let sibling come in and push the stroller, play with the stroller, whatever they want. So I can usually get at least one great shot of older sibling smiling, looking at the camera, holding on to this stroller, and then I can have a composite where I put baby in that image. If after getting that image, I feel like the sibling is calm enough and will follow directions well enough, we will then put baby back in the stroller, and then with my assistant on one side and a parent on the other side, watching like hawks, we'll have the older sibling come in and maybe kiss baby on the head, look down at them, kind of snuggle with them a little bit while they're in the stroller. It doesn't have to be a stroller. I could use a bucket or any kind of prop. I just like that strollers bring them up a little bit higher, so they're usually at a better height so that it's easier for snuggling with their sibling. You're going to keep an eye on your baby, because I'm going to be sitting down and too far away if he starts moving at all.
Start to wiggle in.
Oh, we got lots of toots today. Lots of toots.
The first day he was born at 1:26 p.m. By midnight, he had pooped 8 times. We were like, okay,
wow. Okay.
That work.
Definitely got a bowel system that's working. Okay. So when I do this image, I always have my assistant standing really close by, just for safety. I have in my little stroller, I have like 4 different vintage prams that we can use of different sizes. We just fill them with blankets and different things, towels, and we want to make sure that the head is going to be propped up nicely so that he's not sinking down into it. My light is again feathered, so just the edge of the light is right where the stroller is. And then I do have a reflector, a V-flat behind me that's going to be bouncing the light. All right. Buddy. Okay. So normally I put a bean right behind baby. I'm actually using the wrap because I had a lot of excess wrap. It is kind of propping him so he's not going to roll backwards. I'm just going to adjust those fingers once again. Shh, 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 shh. Handsome boy. He's smiling again. You've got to wait for me. Okay, so you can come in as close as you want. You're not gonna, I'm gonna just edit you out anyways. Okay, buddy. All right. And just kind of keep a hand ready in case he decides to move at all. Okay. And then I am sitting and kind of planning my shot to have Big Brother in on the right side. That's perfect. He's so cute. Okay. So I got that. I usually just leave my camera right where I was sitting so I remember, and it's easier for the composite. We're going to take baby out. Hey, buddy. Give you to mom. And you guys can go sit and relax. Okay. Let's grab brother. Hey, where'd he go? You want to go push the stroller? Here we go. Yeah, look. You can push it. Ready? Look, come here. Oh, look. Ready? Wait. Don't go yet. We're going to count to 3. Ready? Oh. All right, Dad, you got it.
Ready?
You want to push the dinosaur?
Come here, we got it.
The dinosaur says, "Rawr."
If we're going to wear it, let's wear it right.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Good boy.
Yeah, he's so cute.
2.
Ready? 1, 2. Are you ready?
Okay, ready?
Say 1, 2, 3. This is why we took baby out. You want to do it again? Put it in, so it's like, here, I got it.
I figured if I move it back, because he's going to push it. So
It's fine. I just got to make
catch it here.
I'm going to make the light match, so right there should be good. All right, ready? 1,
Can you push that?
2,
Oh.
3. You did it! Yay! We'll do it one more time.
Okay, come back. Come back.
Ready?
Come back. Come back. Come back. Let me see your. Let me see this. Thank you. Good boy.
Ready?
Hold on, slow down. Hey, come here. Come here.
You ready?
Hey, push
1,
this. Tex, push this.
2,
Tex, push that.
3. Good job. We got it. With our sibling today, he was only 18 months, so we did the composite, and that was it. We tried the next shot, which is where I lay a flicati down and have baby and sibling next to each other. We may have gotten that shot. I don't know. Baby or brother did not want to have anything to do with little brother. I'm gonna eat him.
Let me see this. She's gonna get your toes.
I'm gonna eat him.
She's getting your toes.
I got you. I got you. Where's the dinosaur? Where's the dinosaur? I know where the dinosaur is. He's gonna eat you. Go ahead and you can lay baby down right next to him. Oh, I see a dinosaur. Bring him a little bit lower so his head's really close to him. Will you move that flicati piece that's between them? Yeah, perfect. Let's just adjust that wrap. Oh, the dinosaur's gonna get you. You ready? Arr! He's gonna get you.
Back.
Hey, oh, I got you.
I know, it's soft and you don't like it, I know.
You ready? That's okay. Let me see if I got it. That shot is sometimes an easy one, sometimes not. I'm really careful when I'm photographing a baby right next to an older sibling because we don't want them to roll over on them, get them with an elbow. So his temperament was not one where I was going to push that and try again. So we did try once, and we'll see if we got the shot or not. If I do get them laying down on that flicati together, I'll usually have them kiss and kind of cuddle with their sibling. Another shot that I will do if I have a little bit older sibling where parents are comfortable with them holding baby in their lap and that they're very aware of how they need to keep baby's head up. Usually, I think the youngest that I would do that with is maybe a 5-year-old, 6-year-old, parents are going to be a good temperature gauge of whether or not we can even do that shot. And if I'm not comfortable, if I'm like, I don't think this kid is going to get it, I'm not going to risk it. But if I have older siblings, which I do get a fair number where we have like an 8 or a 9-year-old, they're really good at holding their sibling. So I just have them sit crisscross applesauce, put baby in their lap, have them holding baby have their head up, propped up on their hand. Oftentimes we'll also have a toddler or they'll have multiple kids so they can all kind of cuddle in and get that shot. And then they can sometimes get that shot where they're kissing, kind of snuggling and kind of close. Each of those shots is just going to be tailored to the client and the sibling based on their age and their temperament of the older siblings. So for the family images, we usually will do those once we've completed the sibling images. And my goal with these is to keep it simple and keep it focused on baby. These family images are typically the image that they will order and have it large printed up on their wall. So I want this to be an image that they love and that they'll cherish for forever. So the most important thing is to make sure that mom looks great in that image, and then dad, and then adding in each sibling. So again, I want these to be simple. Wardrobe should be simple choices, things that coordinate and look good together, and we want to keep baby focused. Family photos, I love incorporating as many family members as they want to incorporate. So if they ask if grandparents can be included, absolutely. I love generation images. I think those become heirlooms. They're really important to the family and definitely an image that they're not going to say no to. We also sometimes get aunts and uncles, like whoever they want to invite that's meaningful to them, I always say yes to, because it's just one more image combination that I know they're going to purchase, which is great. So again, the way that I am set up is the more images they buy, the more profitable the session is for me. So I, again, also want to make sure that those images are distinct and unique so that they are hard to narrow down. So if I do more than one family image, I want it to be different enough that they will want to purchase both. So for the family portraits, I'm usually looking for creating that closeness. They're usually cropped in nice and close and tight, so that baby can remain the focus. If we get back too far, sometimes we lose baby a little bit. I will do that though sometimes if it's just mom, dad, and baby, where we get a pulled back image, and it's usually for a reason, like because they have Louboutins on and we want to get a fabulous family portrait that shows off their amazing Louboutins. But most of the time, we're capturing those intimate close-up images. When I have a first-time parent, where it's just mom, dad, and baby, or it might be two moms, two dads, and baby, I just want that in nice and close and intimate. We'll usually do 3 different family images. One where they're looking at the camera with soft smiles. I typically prefer like a soft smile over big cheesy smile. I think it just photographs better. But if they prefer the big smiles, and I usually ask, then we might get both and they can choose from them. And then I'll do one image where they close their eyes and just do a soft smile. I love that because it brings the focus to baby versus towards them. And then the third, I'll have mom kissing baby, dad kissing mom on the head. It's really sweet. Sometimes if the client tells me that they really want a lot of family images, we'll then do another variation where we backlight, and then I have the parents standing facing towards each other with baby in between them, and we'll do a shot where they are looking down at baby, and then another one where maybe mom's kissing baby and dad's kissing mom on the head. And I'll show examples of each of those. Okay. The most awkward way you could hold a baby, but it photographs beautifully.
Sounds good.
So this hand's going to come here, kind of below your chest a little bit. Mm-hmm. This is where his bum's going to be. You're going to use your fingers. Sorry, let me start over. Is he too close to this? Is this going to...
No, it's perfect.
It sounds good. Okay,
Yeah.
all right. So you bring this hand up here, and this is where his bum is. You're going to use your fingers to keep his legs crossed so they don't uncross. And then this hand comes up way up here close to your face.
Okay.
So I'm kind of tucked in. I want his head to stay really close to your face.
Okay.
Okay? When I go to hand him to you, your instinct is going to be to drop your hands down. But try to keep it up there because I'm just going to make you move him back up.
Okay.
If he does pee or poop, just don't let go. We will get you cleaned up, but we'll probably, if he settles down, just go ahead and get the shot.
Yeah.
He might fuss a little bit just because your hands are a little bit chilly, and also he's going to smell you.
Yeah.
And he's going to think food. And then we'll add in dad and brother here in a moment. Oh, big stretches, big stretches. I'm going to keep this little weighted blanket on him to transition and until he's all settled. So it helps keep his little hands tucked in. Okay, buddy. All right. I'm going to see Mama. It's okay. So bring this hand, cover all of that.
The best I could for an 18-year-old.
18 months old.
18 months old.
18-year-old. 18 months going on 18 years. I love that. Okay. Can you reach your fingers up any further? If I scooch a little bit. There you go. Perfect. Okay. I'm going to leave that on. Oh, you're doing so good, buddy. Just keep spitting that out. He's like hard gumming. You don't want that right now.
No, he does the same thing to me.
Okay, buddy. That's beautiful. so close. I'm going to turn his head out just slightly. Okay, this is stunning. I want you to relax your shoulders a little bit so you're not like hunching them. Yep, there you go. Bring your hair forward on either side. Why are you making such a mad face, huh? It's okay, buddy. So bring. Oh, goodness. You're okay. All right. So I have my light placed so it's going to be feathered. Mom and baby are just at the edge of the light. Can you reach your fingers up even more? He's kind of settled down in there a little too far. There we go. Don't scratch your face. Oh goodness, we're tooting. We're scaring Mom a little bit.
It wouldn't be the first time.
All right.
He pooped on me immediately.
Did he?
Yes.
I got you. You're good. I'm gonna rock him and get him settled. So my preference would be if your finger could reach all the way up to that other foot, but I think your hands are just a little too small. That's okay. If we get him settled enough, he should be fine. Just gonna rotate his bum more facing towards you. Okay. All right, so if you can actually sit straddle, so your leg, one leg is behind, that way you can get in close to Mom. Perfect. Hi, your dinosaur's gonna get you. And then scooch in as close as you can get to Mom. Perfect.
Hey.
I got a dinosaur, you ready?
Son, let's get something to clean your feet too, dirty ass.
It's all good. All right, chin forward a bit. And bring baby up a little bit higher. Are you ready? Here comes a dinosaur. He's gonna get you. Oh, shoot. You're okay. Dinosaur.
Dinosaur.
Keep that foot in there nice and snug.
Dinosaur. Yeah.
He's
He's gonna give it to Titi. Yeah.
You're doing great. All right, buddy. You stay right there. Okay. You ready? Here he comes.
Just holding.
Yeah, just hold on to him and then lean into Mom and baby. Oh, are you ready? Where's the dinosaur? Lean your head in towards Mom a little bit more. He's gonna get you.
Get him, buddy.
He's gonna get you. Just a small smile for you guys. I'm gonna get you. Perfect. Dad, turn your nose a little bit towards the light and then lean your head in towards Mom. Yep. Ready? Here he comes. 1, 2, 3. He got you. A dinosaur. Ready? Where's the dinosaur? That's beautiful. Love it. Good job.
Dinosaur.
Okay. So I have to be as quick as possible. We have an 18-month-old big brother. Let me take baby from you.
You have to give him the dinosaur.
Oh, actually, yeah. You want the
Get
dinosaur? Okay, you guys are going to stay here. We're going to get a shot of just the 3 of you. So you're going to lean in, put that arm around Mom, this arm right here to just help support. Lean your heads towards each other.
Look at me.
Good. Good job. Woo, careful.
Yo, he's not good. He's he's a terror. Yeah.
Come here.
He's gonna find it. He's gonna grab it. He's gonna break it. Yeah.
You want to sit on my chair? Put the dinosaur on the chair. Okay, we can do this fast. All right, lean your heads in, Dad. Your nose turned out a little bit more towards the light. Yep, just right there. Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. Love it. Let me bring your face forward just a bit, right there. Perfect. Okay, and then this next one, I'm gonna have you guys close your eyes. Keep that small smile. Where are you going? And then last one, Mom kiss baby on the head, Dad kiss Mom on the head. Love it. Okay, perfect.
Hey,
All right.
sit down.
Good job.
Down.
You did it.
Good job.
Hi,
35
big
pounds
boy.
right there. Yeah.
So the next images that I would typically capture would be dad's images. I do this for a couple reasons. One is once we've finished with the sibling images, the family images, and then the dad images, is dad and any older siblings are welcome to leave. That gives mom a little bit of time of just peace and quiet where she can focus on just baby, and it just makes for a nicer experience for her. I do want dads to feel special though, so I will typically do several different poses with them. If they bring multiple outfits and they want to change, that's fine. But my focus is really more on the mom, so I'm not necessarily suggesting that for dads. I find that my clients will narrow down the dad images more so than the mom images. And I think part of that is because moms are usually the ones that are behind the camera, taking pictures of their children. We have tons of pictures of my husband with my children and less so of me. But when you have that moment and she's got her hair and makeup done and she feels and looks beautiful, we want to make sure she has plenty. So, but we definitely want dads to feel special and to have some beautiful images. I like to try to keep these very simple. I recommend for wardrobe for dads that they wear something that is simple, no stripes, patterns, logos, anything like that. It can be a collared shirt, it can be non-collared. We sometimes do it where they take their shirt off. I usually ask moms, they're a good gauge of whether or not they think that's gonna look good or not. But we wanna keep it simple. I will often do these images with a swaddled baby just because it's easier. It means that I can get more images. But also if I have a baby who is so chill, then I will put them in a cute little outfit, or we'll do it with a naked baby and do skin on skin. So for dads, I typically do an image where baby is in front of their chest and facing out towards the camera. And I'll have one shot where dad is looking at the camera and then another where he kisses baby on the head. And then I have them rotate so that I get a profile image, and I will have them holding baby so we see baby's cute little profile. They'll be looking down at them, and then I do one where they come and bring baby's face up close to them so that they're nose to nose. And then I'll do two more images where we kind of call it the football pose, where I have them put baby in their arm like they're holding a football. You can do this with a baby who's swaddled, or you can do it with a baby in an outfit or who's naked, just with their leg dangling down. I will do one shot where they're looking down at baby, and then one where they bring baby's head up close to them and they give baby a kiss on the head or on the temple. So that's 6 variations of different images, and they'll have a hard time narrowing all of those down. If I had them change outfits, it would be even harder, but also I don't want my sessions to be 6 hours long. Typically they're about 3 hours, maybe 3.5 hours, depending on baby and how many images we have planned. So that's it for dads. Again, I want to just show how tiny baby is in their hands. It's so sweet. Try to get Tex to come in and just be around your legs, like looking up at you while you're holding baby. Probably the easiest one is just the one where you're facing the bathroom holding baby, and then you can kind of be looking down at Tex too. So let me hand baby back to you, and we'll see if we can get him in here.
Okay. Let's see.
Tex, you want to come back?
Text Harold. This is Daddy. You're watching Cars and Disney, or Pixar.
Yeah.
Disney now? Yeah, I guess it's Disney.
Put your arms back in.
He's remembering like Nader and
Yeah.
things like that. Like
Where's Daddy? Okay, so he's gonna just stand next to Dad, and we'll get what we get.
Hey.
Hey, come here. Let me put your sleeves in.
Let me try. Let's try to take those, and I'm going to put this down here instead because it matches.
Perfect.
Okay.
Here's a train.
You want to sit down and play with the train? Oh, you got a train!
Hey, buddy.
Is your daddy the train?
All right, look at baby.
Text Harold. There you go.
Oh, where's the baby?
Hey. Come here. Text.
That's
Come
cute.
here. Hey, come here. Can I see that train?
That works too.
Come here. Let me see the train. Come over here. Okay. Now let me see the train.
You show Daddy your train?
Can you come back?
Text, come here, buddy.
That's actually perfect. All right, so once we've finished with all of the family shots, the dad shots, the sibling shots, then we really focus and put the spotlight on mom. For these images, I want moms to feel so beautiful. Right after having a baby is not a woman's favorite time to get in front of a camera. So I want to make sure that she feels glamorous. She feels so much better than she has for the last week or two of just having a baby, not showering, the weird things that happen with your body after having a baby. I want this to be a really memorable and special experience for her. So moms are welcome to choose as many gowns as they'd like. I find that most will pick anywhere from 3 to 6. We do a lot of repeating gowns from their maternity session, and I love creating those beautiful before and after images, whether it's an image that is just similar to what we took from the maternity session, or a before and after image where the two images are composited together. That's also beautiful. So you'll see me demonstrate several different poses that we do with mom. My goal with all of these is just to make sure it's as flattering as possible. So the first things that I'm looking at are the gown selection, then the lighting, and then the posing. Those 3 things are enough usually to be very flattering for mom. And then I'd say about 5 to 10% of that is also going to be in Photoshop afterwards, making sure that they don't look like they're only 1 week postpartum. I'm going to make them look more like they're 6 weeks or even 6 months postpartum. And also the posing and the lighting matters a lot. So you'll see some things that I do to help moms to make sure that their figure looks good, that the light is good on them, and everything's super flattering. So for this shot, I have mom kind of close to the background and centered in the background. You can see the light is coming kind of a little bit angled. Mainly that's just because my ceilings, I don't want to hit the ceiling, and I have a sprinkler head right behind there that I definitely don't want to hit by accident. He's like still going. So the light's coming behind, creating this beautiful rim light on mom's hair, and then it's going to be on baby's face. I have my PLM here nice and close. It's still plugged in, but it's not turned on. So it won't be firing at all. It's just bouncing the light. And then on the other side, I have the V-flat also bouncing the light. All right. So I'm going to have mom holding baby similar to the pose that she did before, where he's up high on your chest. Just like that. Hi. He's making all kinds of sounds. Okay, come a little bit forward. With the face, sir. Gorgeous. Okay, so similar to what we did before, you're going to stick your booty out. That helps that belly kind of disappear. The forward leg is propped up, and then you're going to bring your chin forward towards baby. Gorgeous. I'm using my 85 millimeter. Take a tiny step towards the bathroom. Right there's perfect. Okay. Booty out a little bit more. Chin forward. Gorgeous. That's stunning. Love. Chin forward a little bit more. That's so cute. And now bring your noses together. I'm going to try to eat you. Okay. It literally is. I love it. Are you hungry, buddy? That was beautiful. Good job.
Awesome.
Good job, buddy. Okay. It's not beautiful when I model it. I'm going to move this so that it gets smashed. So I like to demonstrate this pose for my clients because otherwise I just have to explain it more. So if I can show you, it'll help you kind of have it in your mind. So if they did their maternity session with me, they probably already did this pose with me. So I have my light. They're going to be, again, feathered to the light, just on the edge of the light. You're going to be laying on your back with this arm kind of stretched out and slightly bent. And then your legs, you're going to go up on your tippy toes, and I like them to kind of be staggered. So one's a little bit more bent than the other. Usually the one closest to the camera, you'll have bent a little bit more closer into your butt. Don't try to keep your toes pointed for very long in this position. For whatever reason, that's like a great way to get a foot cramp. So just know you can relax until I say I'm ready. And then the other thing you want to do is you want to kind of try to get your shoulders and your butt as close to each other as possible. So you're kind of moving your shoulders in, butt close to each other, and that creates a nice arch to the back. And then this hand I'm going to place baby on your chest, and you'll put this hand on him just to keep him from rolling off. And then the last thing, I'll take your hair and put it like up over your arm. The last thing you'll do is put your chin up towards the ceiling. Okay? Oh my gosh. And you will probably get up so much more gracefully than I just did.
Oh no. We'll see.
All right. So I have my light down lowered so that it's going to be ideal for mom being on the ground. Perfect. Okay. Maybe scooch a little bit this way. There we go. Okay, right there's good. That's okay. Okay. All right, so that arm goes up, and I'm going to take your hair. Sorry, buddy. Go ahead and straighten your arm just slightly. Not quite so much. Right there's good. Perfect. Okay. Oh, big yawn. Big yawn. Shh, 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 shh. Tuck that in. Okay, let me move my light just a little bit closer. Yep, chin up, that looks amazing. So bring your feet in a little bit closer to you. Ooh. Right there is good. Okay, that looks amazing. Okay, and then once I'm sitting and ready, I'll have you go on your tiptoes in a moment. Looks amazing. Okay, can you give me any more arch to your back? Chin up. Gorgeous. And now up on tiptoes, yep. Stunning. Chin up a little bit more. Perfect. All right, relax. That looks amazing. So because my moms are coming in and getting professional hair and makeup done, really for the 2 hours while I'm photographing baby and they're getting their hair and makeup done, my hair and makeup artist is just building them up. I think having a really good hair and makeup artist who is great at connecting with your clients is worth so much more than whatever it is that you're paying them. This just helps my clients to feel comfortable and confident, not just in themselves, but she's reassuring them if maybe they hear baby crying for a moment that, oh, Lindsay's got this. She's going to take good care of your baby. So that they know, they develop a rapport with her so that they can trust her. But she sets the tone for how they're feeling, and she's checking in and making sure that they're happy with their hair and makeup. The last thing I would want is for a mom to sit in the chair for 2 hours, then to come out and to not like their hair and makeup. So she checks in throughout to make sure that they're happy with the direction she's going and the way that they're looking. And then once they come out and start putting on that first gown and come out for us to start photographing them, I want to make sure that they feel super confident. So the way that I'm talking to them, we're just not over the top, and it's honestly just super genuine. They just do look beautiful, and I'm so happy for them. They have that kind of new baby glow and just are so in love with their baby. So if I'm setting an experience where they aren't stressed about their toddler anymore, those images are done, everything's gone great. Even if baby was fussy during the session, I reassure them like they're doing great. We've gotten so many beautiful images, just so that they can feel calm and serene and quiet, and that's going to show through in the images. One of my favorite things is when clients leave a review and they talk about the experience. That tells me that I'm consistently providing a really great experience that they can enjoy and feel confident in. And then ultimately, the other thing that tells me that they're having a great experience is the number of images that my clients are purchasing. They're not just buying these images because they're beautiful. They're buying them because they remember how they felt during that experience. And I think that's really important. If they remember their baby was crying and things were kind of chaotic and crazy, they might have less positive feelings about those images and are less likely to purchase them. So I really am focused on creating that amazing experience for these moms and making sure that they feel confident and reassured that they look great and that baby looks great and the images are going to be beautiful and something they will treasure for the rest of their lives. going to show you a quick edit of one of the images from our recent model session for newborn family images. I chose this image to show you just because I get a lot of questions usually of how I create the final image with a reflection. So I have edited this image already, but I'm going to go ahead and do a quick run through of how I do my edits. So I'll be editing it again. My edits are pretty thorough and you could say pretty tedious. So I outsource the vast majority of my editing. I still touch every image. I'm pretty particular, but I have a retoucher who will send me an unflattened Photoshop document so that I can go in and make little tweaks and changes if things aren't 100% how I want them to be. So this is the image straight out of RAW, and this is my edited in Photoshop image. So let's start with the image in RAW. I don't love Lightroom, so I use Adobe Bridge for culling my sessions, and then Adobe Camera Raw for any raw edits that need to happen, and then Photoshop for all of my layered edits. I love to do non-destructive editing, which means that I can go back to each layer and make adjustments if I need to later. I'm not flattening images. I typically will add sharpening to images in post-production or after the images have finished being edited, depending upon the output. So if I'm wanting to share images online, I sharpen and size those images to optimize it for that. If I'm preparing images to be printed on a canvas as a 30 by 40 versus like a 5 by 7, I'm going to sharpen and size differently. So I'm not going to go through all of that because that's not what this class is about. But all that to say, in the very beginning, for all of my images, I come to the sharpening section. It's normally defaulted at 50. I take that sharpening down. I cut it down by half because I'm going to add in some sharpening later, again, depending on the output of the image. So that's a whole nother complicated subject and topic that maybe we should do sometime on how to prepare images for printing that I love to teach, but I don't have time to do that today, unfortunately. So the other thing that I will do is I'll take out any noise in an image. So typically I'm going to zoom in at 100%. The default on this, I feel like, is usually 0 for luminance. Color is going to be at 25. That's too low for the luminance, and in my opinion, way too high for the color. So what this is just the difference between color noise and just that normal gray noise. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit closer so it's a little bit easier to see. This blue is just my shadow clipping warning. So I'm going to turn that off so that's not messing us up. And I can see, if I zoom in even more, maybe you can see it. I can see the noise here in the shadows. I can also see some of that color noise. The best way to see the color noise is I take the luminance up to 100, the color down to 0. And now I can really see these blues and reds in the noise. So typically I just raise that up to where you can't see it anymore. And you don't have to go very far to be able to do that. Again, right now I'm zoomed in at 400%, which is totally unnecessary. I usually am zoomed in to 100, maybe 200 if I'm just really wanting to see. But ideally at 100%, we don't want to see the noise. So I'm just zooming in so that you can see a little bit better what I'm doing. And then luminance, I obviously don't want to leave that at 100. That makes for a very waxy skin. So I'm going to reduce that down until I can see some noise coming back, take it back up to where I can't see it at all anymore. So usually I end up in studio where I have my ISO set pretty low with my luminance between 20 to 30, somewhere around there. And again, that's at 100% opacity. 100% zoom. You could zoom into 800% and you'll always have noise. But that's not the point. At 100%, I want to make sure that there's no noise. Okay, so that whole nother process that, again, there's reasoning behind that, and usually that comes into play when it comes to printing. So that's why that's really important to me, because I want all of my images to be print worthy and print ready. The first things I would do after doing that. So typically what I do is I will set the sharpening, the luminance, and the color, and then I will hit done, and then I will just sync that for the entire gallery of culled images. So I only have to do that once. Then I go in, and for individual images or for groups of images that were all shot in the same setting, I will adjust exposure, whites, and blacks. So this was just a little bit underexposed. So I'm bringing that up a bit. I have my highlight and shadow clipping warnings on. So if I go too high, it's going to show up in red. And then same thing if my shadows are clipping, I want to be able to see that, because if I don't remove that, then when I go to print, that's just going to print as like a black blob. There's not going to be any detail there. So I don't want that. So exposure, blacks. You can also reduce the whites a bit if you're finding like, usually if I shoot like maybe rim light or backlight, I might get a lot more highlights that are blowing out. And so I can adjust that, but I don't want to do that too much. So in this case, I don't need to use it at all. And really, that's it. I don't mess with texture, clarity. Sometimes I'll use dehaze if I'm shooting outdoors, but usually I'm just adjusting exposure, whites, and blacks if needed. Okay, so that is my raw edits. So I'm going to go into Photoshop now and just hit open. First thing I'm going to do is crop the image. I'm just looking to see if her body is lined up pretty well. The way she's lying, I don't care about this part of the backdrop, because that doesn't necessarily, it's not always straight. I want the background to be like the horizon line to be straight, which I think that's a little bit better, and her body is a little bit more in line here. I'm also going to crop it in just a little. When I'm cropping, I typically do not have selected delete crop pixels, because if I ever need to print for a canvas or something like that, I just want to have all of those pixels available to me in case I need them. So I'm not deleting the crop pixels, but I am cropping what I don't want in the image for now out. My next step, I'm going to duplicate the background. So Command J or Control J on a PC. I'm using a MacBook today. So I'll be going through using all of my shortcuts for a Mac. So just if you use PC, know that you can do these as well. So Command J to duplicate that background. And my very first thing that I would typically do is liquefy. So shortcut for that, Command Shift X. Under the menus, it's under Filter and Liquefy. And I'm going to go in with a nice big brush and just slim a few things. For right after having a baby, all mamas deserve to make sure that they look and feel their best. So we're just going to do some subtle adjustments. Since she's laying on her back, her tummy kind of flattens anyways, which is great. I'm just going to emphasize that for her. And then also maybe bring that arch of her back up, because that's really hard to do with a baby. When she laid down, the backdrop, I use a vinyl backdrop, which I love, because I can reuse it over and over again. This one is getting pretty old, so I probably need to replace it soon. But I've had it for years now, and it's been a great backdrop. But when she laid down, the backdrop kind of wrinkled. I could have had her get up and fix it and pull it tight and start over. She just had a baby. She just got down on the floor. I was not going to make her get up again, so it's not that hard to fix it in post. Okay, So the other thing that I always do, because I'm nitpicky, is I'll just adjust the wrap a little bit, make it look a little bit more round and nice, and take some of these wrinkles out. So liquefy is one of those things that to me is kind of a taste level. Everybody is a little bit different. I don't judge what other people do. This is what my clients like. So do a lot, do a little, do whatever you want. But perfecting things is kind of what my brand is all about. So I'm definitely going to go in and just adjust this till I find a level that I'm really happy with. Okay. So I can see some of her, the way this is fitting her back. I'm going to go ahead and just make this super dark. Actually, I might even just get rid of it completely so that this is the art that they're seeing. Okay. Just make sure everything is nice and smooth. If I'm doing a shot where mom is standing and she has curls and whatever, I'll usually give a little bit more volume to the hair, but that doesn't really apply in this case. I don't love the way that I pose the hair here. I wish that it was coming a little bit more over her arm. It's fine how it is though. Okay, so liquefy, we're finished with that. My next step is I'm going to duplicate this layer again, and I use portraiture. So this is from Imaginomic. And looks like I'm going to use version 3 because version 4 does not work on this computer. Typically, I can just keep the smoothing at a normal level and hit OK. If I feel like it's not doing a job of picking up the areas of skin that I want it to emphasize, then I'll click in a couple spots on the skin to make sure that it gets those correctly. Hit OK. I'm going to immediately create a layer mask, and I'm just going to turn the layer on and off. If it's affecting the background, then I would invert this mask and then I would just paint it on in the areas because the background's gray. I don't see it really doing much to it, so I don't feel like I need to do that. But I am going to use this layer mask, and I'm going to come in and mask it off of any detail areas. So like hair, I don't want that to look too smooth. Eyelashes, eyebrows, nose, lips. I'm going to do the same thing for baby. Definitely want to see his cute little hairline. Eyebrows, nose, lips. And let me turn it on and off. I don't mind that it's blurring a little bit here. I do mind if it is affecting her tattoo very much, which it is. So I'm going to go ahead and mask the portraiture effect off of her leg. Excuse me. So I want that to really show up in a lot of detail. Okay. Then I'm going to create a stamp visible layer. On a Mac, it's Command Option Shift E. You can also right click and just do stamp visible layer. I just prefer using shortcuts. It's easier for me. That creates a pixel layer. And I'm just going to look real quick. Another tool that I love to use, especially with newborns when they have a lot of dry skin or they maybe have that white milia on their nose or cheeks, is I use the Dust and Scratches filter. This background has a lot of little flaws on it. So I'm going to actually go ahead, I'm going to delete that last layer, just do that again later. I'm going to run an action that I created for myself called Dust and Scratches. So I'm going to run the action and then I'm going to explain what the action is. So all it is I'm creating, in the action, we create a stamp visible layer. So that Command Alt Shift E. And then I'm running Dust and Scratches with a radius of 6 and a threshold of 6. And then I create a layer mask and invert it. So let me show you, Basically what the dust and scratches filter does. So with a radius of 5 and a threshold of 3, when I zoom in, I'll see it a lot easier. I'm going to use a white brush, and I'll just put it at 100%, but anywhere where there's small little flaws, so like the stubble on her armpit, it's able to get rid of that. Get rid of some of, looks like she had like goosebumps a little bit. Let's try it here on these little baby hairs. So the dust and scratches filter is great for getting rid of small texture issues. You do not want to do it like over a detail area. It just totally messes it up. So don't want to do it there. But it's a wonderful quick tool for fixing a large area that has some issues on it. Let's see, baby, because this is a image that's taken from far away, we can't see a lot of the detail of his skin anyways, so I don't really need to use it on him. But I am using it on some of these little spots. We did, I think this was from glitter, or I don't even remember. It got on the background and needs to be cleaned up, and hasn't been yet. So I'm just going to use this very quickly to go over some of this detail area. So this, I don't mind the way it's looking. I'm just trying to get rid of it because I'm going to flip the image, and I want this to not have a bunch of flaws on it. So dust and scratches filter is amazing for just very quickly going in and fixing some details. I could use frequency separation as well, but that just takes longer. It's an extra step to kind of clone. So this is great for cleaning up my backdrop because it has all these little spots. And then again, it's great for skin settings as well. Okay. So now going back to what I was planning on doing next, which is creating that stamp visible layer, Command Alt Shift E, and then I'm going to run an action for basically frequency separation. So what this does is it creates a texture layer and a color layer. If you're not familiar with frequency separation, I would say get familiar with it. It's an amazing tool for editing skin. I'm not going to go over in detail how to make this action because you can get this for free. Just Google free frequency separation action. There's probably 100 different ones out there. And they all essentially work the same way. You have the texture layer and then the color layer. The texture layer, I'm going to zoom in here so you can see. I typically will use the clone tool when fixing texture, and I want to make sure that I'm on the current layer. If you have it on all layers, it's just going to look really weird when you go to do it. It's not going to work. So I'm going to hit Option for good and select good texture, and then clone over the bad texture. So I can even use it on things like this little stray hair in a random spot. Her skin already looks pretty good. I'm just going to get rid of that little vein. If I want to be super nitpicky, I can get rid of any texture issues, but my gosh, she already just looks amazing. I could have used it here to fix the stubble that was here, but I already used the other method, so I don't really need to. But if I miss anything, I can come in. I'm going to get rid of the little veins here. So that is the texture layer. Color layer, you can use a lot of different tools. You can use cloning, but it's going to be pretty harsh. Like if I want to clone and get rid of that little red spot, it's just a little bit too bright. So I could do, say, reduce the opacity, maybe down to 30%, and then go over it. That works. Gets rid of it really easily. Another method, let's say, I'm going to go back and get a little bit of this texture. Oops, get my brush back at 100% opacity. This area of our skin is not really bad, but just as an example, let's say I'm going to select this area of her skin and I just want to smooth out the tones and the colors here. So I select that and then I'm going to add some blur. So if you go up to filter, blur, Gaussian blur, or use the shortcut Command Shift B, and then just raise that up a bit. It just blends the colors and kind of blurs them together. So turn that on and off. Kind of see, got rid of the detail. That's showing the detail that I fixed, and then also the color. You can do the same thing for baby. Let's do cloning just down at like 30%. Sometimes cloning just is not the best method. So I'll just use a brush, sample the area close by, and then just color that in. Taking that off because I don't like it at all. And then my favorite method is sometimes I'll just use quick mask. So when I hit Q, I'm entering quick mask. You can see here that I'm in quick mask. And then I'm going to use a brush at 100% opacity and just kind of tap on that area a bit, a few times to select it. All quick mask does is it's just creating a selection for you. So this time I'm using, because I used a brush with a soft edge, it's going to create a less distinct change in that area. So I love it. It feels more subtle. So I'm going to use Command Shift B again to get Gaussian blur and just adjust that a bit. So I like that better. And then using cloning with the clone brush at 100%, just going to clone out that little bit of texture. Yep. That's much better. Okay. Other areas that I would focus on, just all the skin areas, go in and clean up all of this. I already edited this image because I didn't want to spend all the time in the video going through all the, this is pretty tedious work. And this is, again, why I outsource. Pretty much I outsource all my skin editing. He does skin editing. He'll do some color correction on skin. He'll fix backgrounds for me, stuff like that. I still do a lot of the dodge and burn on my images. I still do the liquefy because, again, those are things that are kind of to taste. But it's so liberating to let somebody else do all of the tedious parts of editing. If you think this is fun, that's great. But is it fun when you have like 60 images to do? Probably less so. And especially when you are taking time away from your family. So just, again, I'm using the texture layer right now in frequency separation. I am cloning at 100% opacity out any detail areas. And I'm zoomed in at 200 right now. I should probably only be zoomed in at 100. Again, this is another reason why I like using a retoucher, because I have a tendency to be a little over the top in my editing sometimes. And he kind of knows just the right level to do. You could use this on the background too. There's a couple spots that I missed when I was using dusts and scratches. Okay. I'm not going to overdo it. I think you get the idea here. I also used frequency separation to get rid of the panning line, and then some dodge and burn to make it more even. That took quite a bit of time. You can also do things like select it and come down and use the AI generative fill and see if that can help sometimes. Sometimes it's amazing. Sometimes it's ridiculous. Just depends. Let's see. So I would probably also use frequency separation to fix things like the background here. You can also use just dodge and burn. So let me show you kind of how I would use each of these potentially. So I'm just going to select this area. And I'm on the color layer, Gaussian blur. That's not going to work because it's changing the texture of the background. So let's not do that. For dodge and burn, I use it in a non-destructive way. I don't like using the actual dodge and burn tools that Photoshop has. Instead, to use dodge and burn, I typically will just create a new layer, and put it in soft light blend mode. Then with a brush, and I want to make sure if I hit D for default, that switches my brushes back to black and white. Then with my brush, I'd probably start it at just 10% opacity. And I'm going to switch, in this case, to a white brush. I'm just going to get rid of that shadow. And there's a little bit of a highlight here, so I'm going to change my brush to black. And there we go. So I probably need to go in closer to his nose and get rid of that shadow as well. I'm not going to take the time to really do that right now. So dodge and burn is great for fixing backgrounds. I honestly also have been using just generative AI a lot. So like as an example, we need to get rid of all of this up front. So I'm just going to let Firefly do its thing, see what it comes up with. It doesn't have to be perfect because I'm going to be flipping the image and creating a reflection underneath, but I also reduce the opacity on it, so it helps if I have all of this as a uniform gray. I really like the dark one because I'm going to go in and do some dodge and burn on the background anyways. So I'm going to keep that. I always delete the other variations just to save space so it's not taking up so many pixels. And then so long as it's not a super small area, I'll enhance that variation too. Okay. And I could come in and just see how it does of just straightening all that out so that I don't have to do dodge and burn or cloning to fix it. That's the other way to fix background stuff is I just clone sometimes. And honestly, I say this is my retoucher doing the vast majority of this now because I don't want to have to deal with any of that. Again, I like this darker one, so delete those and enhance that. All right, background's looking pretty good. There's some details that in the final image I've fixed. So again, the underwear, definitely don't want that showing up. Other than that, it's looking pretty good. So other things that I will do now for baby, I'm just going to select using this quick selection tool. Select that. Oops. I don't need a hand. Okay, I'm just going to do a quick levels layer. So I know based on when I was doing my raw edits that her skin is exposed really well, but baby's a little bit darker. His skin tone's a little bit different and he's a little bit in shadow. I like using the levels there because it shows me a histogram of the exposure on baby's skin. So I'm just going to bring up the exposure on his face a little bit because I want him to be just as visible as mom. That looks good. I'm going to just on the mask soften that on his ear a little bit by masking it off. So that shadow just seems more natural. Okay, that looks good. And then I'm going to hit Command and click on my mask over here so I can have that selection again so I don't have to create the selection again. And I'm going to do a selective color adjustment layer. Baby, I want his skin to be a little bit closer to mom's skin tone, so I'm going to take a little bit more of that red out. So right now I'm in the yellows channel. I prefer to pull the red out on a limb, like its face, in the yellow channels versus in the red channel. So it pulls that red down a little bit. And just bump up the yellows a tiny bit. And then I'm going to do one more layer so I can go in on those areas like his ear where it's pretty red. So I do the overall adjustment first and then more of a detailed adjustment. This is an action that I wrote called Reduce Reds. Actually, somebody else might have wrote it. I don't know. I've used it for forever. This is a hue saturation layer. If you click on the red channels, you can see what the settings are. So bumped up the hue, the saturation, and the lightness. So those are the numbers for that. If I invert this mask, you'll be able to see what it's doing. It's just really pulling out the reds. Invert it back. So clicking on the mask and with a white brush, so if I hit X, it'll toggle between my black and my white brush. Again, if you hit D, it puts you in default mode for the brushes. I'm going to do it at 30% so you can kind of see this effect a little bit quicker. So just the areas that are a little bit more red than others. That's super helpful for that. Okay, and then next I'm going to do some dodge and burn. So the way that I do dodge and burn, again, I want to be non-destructive. So I'm not using these tools over here, the actual dodge and burn tools. I'm just using a layer in soft light mode. I could use the one that's down here, but I'm just going to create another one. And then first with my brush in a black brush, and I'm going to do 10% opacity. So I want this to be relatively subtle. I'm just going to emphasize the shadows in the image and the areas that I really want to highlight the shadows. So definitely on her legs. It's got a little teeny bit of a sock tan, so I'm going to darken that a bit. And then her back for sure. Really emphasize that arch, her arm. And her neck and jawline. A little bit on her cheek. And then eyelashes. Usually go over those. Baby as well, just real subtle. That's looking great. And then I might switch over to the white. Her hair is already pretty highlighted there. I don't need to do much. If I really want to get more of that painterly look, I can do that on the areas where the light is hitting her leg. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the background. I want this a little bit darker. I've changed my brush opacity to around 30% just to make it quicker. Now I'm going back down to 10. So kind of creating a subtle vignette here because I really want to emphasize Mama Baby in the center. So that's our dodge and burn. And then I think on my previous edit, I just came in here to select that generative fill. I typically don't write in the prompt. I just leave it blank and roll the dice. I find when I do put in text into that generative fill and try to give a prompt, it messes it up most of the time. So I've found a lot more luck by just kind of rolling the dice and seeing what it does. So that looks great. Read my mind, what I wanted it to do. All right. So this image is not yet perfect. And there's still a little bit. I probably would do some cloning to get this backdrop looking a little bit better. There's some liquefy issues. I don't like this little bump here and on her leg. I would probably fix that a little bit more. But I'm going to go ahead and move on and show you how I create this reflection. Oh, one other thing before I do that, because that reflection is kind of the last thing I want to do, is for all of my images, I do a little bit of color grading. And I do the same amount of color grading for the vast majority of my images. That just gives all of my images kind of a consistent look. So I have an action that I've written for my selective color that I do. So you can see the difference there. I'm typically adding some warmth in, is essentially what I'm creating, especially kind of in the shadows. So if I click on that, you'll be able to see all it is in the neutral layer of a selective color adjustment layer. You can see what the numbers are, but I'm just adding in some warmth. And it's very subtle numbers here. Every once in a while I'll have an image, like if it's an underwater image where I might go a little bit further, or an outdoor image, or just something that feels more fashion vibe. But I try to just be pretty consistent. So these are just what my numbers are. You can play with this to find your own style. Sometimes specific images will call for something a little bit more or a little bit less. Just depends. But I like to add just that consistent selective color layer over all my images. All right, now let me show you the reflection that I create. So typically I'm creating this reflection from a maternity image, which I love. It just creates an amazing story before and after. A lot of people don't see it at first. It takes them a minute to recognize that it's there. And then when it hits them, it's just like this amazing aha moment. We didn't do this pose for her maternity session, so I don't have a maternity image that I can use for it. But typically when I'm shooting this, I'll bring up the maternity image and we try to get the legs, the arm, the hair, the back, everything as close to that original image as possible, so it lines up pretty well. Since we didn't do the maternity image here, I'm just going to duplicate or create a stamp visible layer. So again, Command Option Shift E, and then I'm going to go to image, edit, not image. I don't want to flip the whole image. I just want to flip this layer. So flip vertical under edit. And then I'm going to reduce the opacity on this. Typically I do it around 30, somewhere around there. And just line this up a bit better. It's okay if there's a teeny bit of overlap. Just do what you feel like looks best. Then I'll create a layer mask, and then I use a gradient. So I want the one that goes from black to opaque, or not opaque, black to whatever that is called. Invisible. I'm sure there's a name and I'm just blanking. So I will then not quite. Just draw a straight line, and basically that is a very subtle gradient here, masking it off of the top part of the image, and then having that reflection here. If I need to, I'll go to that layer mask and with a black brush make sure that I have gotten it off of her skin areas. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So I might do a little bit more dodge and burn to kind of create a little bit more of a vignette. Let me see how close this is to the final image that I've already edited. Yeah, that's pretty close. So main thing, the underwear, a little bit more dramatic when the dodge and burn. I just spent more time on that. So anyways, that is the final image. If you have questions, I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have. I hope that's been super helpful and that you've picked up some fun tips and tricks of how to make your images a little bit better in editing. Talk to you guys soon. Bye. So thank you so much. I hope this class has been helpful and informative for you. As always, you can reach out in the Facebook group with any questions that you have. I really am an open book. I want to be as helpful as possible for you. If you have further questions, ask them in the Facebook group. And if you need to, you're welcome to reach out to me as well. Family images really are, to me, the most important images of any newborn session. They're those images that parents will treasure. And I think as we focus more on those and create a great experience for our clients and really focus on creating beautiful images, those will really become images that you also love and want to share. So hope this has been awesome for you. I really enjoyed the experience, and we'll be chatting soon. Bye.